Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're taking a look at a comparison between two Sagamore rye whiskeys, one that was aged in sherry cask and one that was aged in port. First time we were doing Sagamores. If you guys had a chance to try any of these, it's a MGP Pennsylvania whiskey, is it not, Dustin?
So MGP distillate, right now, they are distilling their own stuff, Mike, but I don't believe it's ready yet. Mm-hmm. And then you're getting... So eventually it'll be Pennsylvania whiskey. Right now it's Indiana rye. And some really cool casks. The port came out a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. They may have done another release. I don't know. This is from a couple years back. This one came out pretty recently, and I'll tell you this much, guys. I haven't had this that long.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we just had this in my house.
And by the way, talk about a cool bottle, man.
Yeah, I've never seen a bottle quite that shape before. When I was describing to someone, they knew exactly what I was talking about, even though I forgot the name. All right, so we have the port here on the left, our left, your right, and we have the sherry on our right, your left. Glasses near them, exactly.
Of course, Mike's now gotten me suddenly scared because he second-guessed me. I'm like, are they right? I'm like, I think so.
We'll figure it out. All right, Justin, what do you want to start with? Port or sherry?
Start left, we'll go port.
All right, let's go, buddy.
So I initially, on this port, it's very grape. I mean, like Welch's grape juice, kind of grape levels.
Yep.
Hints of maybe gasoline, Mike?
I mean,
I
don't know if I go that far, but I mean, it does come off very, purple Dimetapp Scotch sherry.
Not alcohol, but I get a little bit of, I'm telling you. And I also, I've had this not too long ago, but I get on the finish of that, it's got almost that gasoline note, which is sometimes a really nice note on whiskeys. Now, these are, I believe, 50%.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot to even look at that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, forget me. I didn't give the ABV on these.
101 on this one here, Mike.
And this one's 106.
106. Okay, so just slightly warmer, but they're about 150, 50, okay.
50 or just slightly over.
Yeah.
It doesn't come off as... You get the purple like I get from a lot of ports. So, I mean, I get the same kind of port style cast that I like in a lot of whiskeys, especially a lot of scotches. And the rye whiskey's a nice counterbalance to it. You get a little bit of mint with it.
You get even the slightest hint of sulfur on here? Because I don't.
No. It's pretty clean, really.
Yeah, really, really good port cask we use here. I mean, this is... we've had some not-so-great port casks over the last year or so.
Sure.
And we've had some exceptional ones. These are definitely good casks.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward in its delivery. You get the rice spice and mint and, the dark purple, dark fruit, cherry flavors from the port cask.
They really work well together here. That purple and then nice spicy rye and then that little bit of cooling mint on the finish.
Like I said, I mean,
really nice.
Everything balances out pretty well. And, I've always kind of assumed port was like a grapier version of sherry if it's done right a lot of times. It's like
in a way, yeah.
Yeah, juicier, less
earthy, more...
Yeah, less dehydrated version.
Yeah, less drying usually.
Drying, dehydrated, yeah. Whatever
it's more candied without being overly sweet once it's used in whiskey.
It can be.
Yeah. So, switch over to the sherry one.
Very good nose on that. On the port.
The sherry's letting that rye note really
dirty
come out a little more forward. Drying notes on the sherry.
Yeah, it's definitely more spirit driven.
More vanilla. The mint isn't more, but you get the mint earlier.
Yeah, again, it's letting the spirit kind of do most of the heavy lifting here. It's a lighter finish comparatively.
Now, I know I've had these without going back to back, and I can tell you the sherry was not subtle. Right now, comparatively, it is.
It smells really earthy, this sherry, too. It smells very dirty.
Yeah, but again, no sulfur notes that I'm picking up here. And again, I'm not sensitive to sulfur, so if you are, maybe you'll experience it more, but I get no sulfur. Just rye. Little candied corn, not candy corn, sorry. Candied sugars.
Dark bitter chocolate.
Yeah. I almost get bitter chocolate, and I get a little bit of like cocoa powder.
There may be something sweet there, but it's mainly bitter.
I mean, cocoa powder isn't super sweet. It's a lighter chocolate. I love that rye note. You can just tell this is good rye whiskey. I don't know what the age on these is, if it's 4 or 6 years old, 10 years, I doubt it, but whatever it is, it's aged long enough.
Well, I'll tell you what, as far as the nose, I definitely prefer the port. I mean, it's definitely the sweeter of the two noses by a good stretch, but
it is sweeter. The cask finishing's a little more in your face, for sure.
Yep.
Going to jump into the port.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an easy choice between the two. This is far more balanced, too, where this one's just, it's far more, like I said, spirit-driven as opposed to the cask maturation. It's a little disjointed. What do you get on the palate?
So, definitely get that little bit of funkiness, a little hint of that gasoline. Beautiful minty vanilla port, which I don't think I've ever said before. Finish is nice. I'm getting tons of rye here.
Yeah,
And it's not one to go anywhere. It's good rye. You know,
especially on the finish. A ton of it on the finish. Huge wallop.
Really nice. The up front is a little funky for some people. I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed it the whole time I've had this bottle, but it is potentially for some people this could be a little funky.
Yeah, but it quickly goes sweet, and then it kind of transitions and then into the rye, the mint kind of at the end. So it doesn't linger on that very long. But I mean, I don't think it's an overly unpleasant note. I kind of like the funkiness with this.
I do too, like I said, but I do know there are some people who have
You're
expressed a little bit of disjointedness and weren't happy with that. Really, really nice. I like what it's doing there. I'm going to hop into the sherry one.
Yeah, I hit that port a second time. There's a sweet juiciness to that port, too, with this one. So there's quite a few things going on, but I really think all the elements with that port kind of balance each other out.
Okay. Interesting. So, as we always talk about, sometimes, we review other whiskeys and they kind of influence a little bit of what we're getting on these. And what's interesting here today is the sherry is soft and subtle up front, but it's there. I will say the sherry stays with the experience a little more than the port does. I get all port up front and it's pretty solid. This, I'm getting that little bit of chocolate all the way through, but I'm getting way more tobacco spice on this one. Whereas this one comes off very like classic MGP rye on the finish and on the mid palate. This little tobacco-y with a little bit of chocolate, just a whisper. Nothing crazy. Finish is more pleasant and longer lasting here, and way less minty. And I'm not sure which way I'm going here as far as what I'm liking here. I'm gonna have to go back and forth.
Yeah, so I do like the palate better than I like the nose on that sherry for sure. It's funny. It's still spirit driven, I think, on the palate as far as the flavors, like with the rye. But you're right, that chocolate note stays with you through the whole thing. I mean, it's a companion holding hands through the whole experience on the palate. I actually like the palate of this one better. The funkiness is better on the sherry than it is on the port. Although I don't dislike it on the port.
I know there's only like 5 proof difference here. We're not even talking ABV 5 proof. Mm-hmm. But this one does come off as a richer, more mouth coating, more just a bolder whiskey in general. And yet this one comes off like it's got kind of some like punches. Not alcohol punches, but just has a few places where it kind of punches higher. But this one, the overall experience, and again, the finish is so much longer here. Man. I wasn't sure which way I was going to go coming in.
Yeah, they do different things better.
But
this is what you value. They do different things better.
Yeah.
This is kind of what you value. I mean, look, I like the nose better on this, but I think I like the flavors I pick up on the palate a little bit better in this. But here, the palate isn't far off on this one. But the nose is far off on this one, in my opinion. So, Dustin, we do these versus series, man. If someone was going to pick up the tab at the bar and you were just drinking, what would you drink? Can I go first?
Go right ahead.
This is going to surprise you, but I go with the sherry cask.
Yeah, I'm going with the sherry cask as well.
It's just too interesting of a palate.
But I gotta say, there are no losers here. And, we don't usually score when we do these verses, but I gotta say, Mike, these are probably like getting in that 88, 89 range.
I was gonna say 87, 88. Yeah,
like,
I'm not far.
I really like what they're doing. I think this is great, flavorful stuff. And want to guess the price on these, Mike?
$80.
Pretty much dead on.
I'm good at that.
And that is a really fair price. You get these under $100, I think you're getting a hell of a whiskey.
Yeah, I would agree. They're both about an 87. And they're good ABVs, but I mean, again, they're aggressive cask mash. This is my first time with this particular one, but MGP.
We're gonna have to do a little of this to find out.
Does a solid job. I'll try and go.
MGP rye has been really good stuff, and
I'll walk this plank with you.
hey, the people want to know, right? What happens when you blend them?
Port and sherry. Guess what? It's sweet.
I'm actually getting more vanilla now.
You're right. I am too.
I don't know why, but I'm getting way more vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla and oak.
Yeah, which is starting to make me think there's some decent age on these because
It
you
does.
don't need a lot.
It smells older together, doesn't it?
You don't need a lot of age to get some good whiskey out of rye, but I tell you
So what 2 8-year-old whiskeys make it a 16?
apparently today.
They do not.
No, they don't. And let me tell you, I don't think these are 8 years old.
No. This is 6-year-old whiskey probably. What do you think? Good. Some of the parts. Was this a transformer?
A little more bitter than the sherry was. About the same here. I think I'd still take the sherry neat. But the finish is longer and more intense.
Yeah, that's just a mess. Yeah, we're definitely both in agreement that the sherry one is the one we definitely go with.
I'm probably not blending it.
No. So if you guys had a chance to try either one of these, I'd like to know what you guys think. Dustin, until next time, what do we wish the folks?
Happy spicy drinking.
We'll see you then.